What's up, y'all? Talon here from the future, actually relative to the rest of the video. So basically the team that I'm using for the rest of the video is one Pokemon away from the team that finished 3rd place in the overall July standings. I was using the team that got 5th place in the June standings, and it turns out they basically just shifted the Urshifu on that team for the Amoonguss for the future, and were able to get 3rd place this ranked battle season. So yeah, I figured just because the information was public, I would also have the rental code for this team. It's a little more up to date relative to the metagame, but regardless, like, everything is for the most part pretty similar outside of the Raging Bolt. I think on the original team having a Dragon move, and this one has Snarl instead. I'll have the EV spreads in the open team sheet for this more up-to-date version in the description, along with the one I use in the video, but yeah, proceed to the rest of the video now. What's up, y'all? Talon here. Today we're back with another series of battles featuring top teams in the Regulation G metagame. Today we have a bit of a tryhard team. This team got 5th place on the ranked battle ladder last season. It is a Calyrex-Shadow Rider team, fairly standard, but has a lot of bulk and power to it. This is one of the more annoying teams I've had to play against on ladder. It is centered around the Calyrex-Shadow Rider, setting up nasty plot with the Astral Barrage to do insane damage, stack boost with the As-1 when you take a KO, and you also have Draining Kiss to heal any HP that you do take on your end, Tera Fairy boosting that up to, you know, a reasonable level, still not hitting crazy hard, but after a couple of boosts from the nasty plot. And As-1, you are starting to take KOs, or at least 2 at KOs, which is what you're aiming for. And then Covert Cloak is pretty interesting, so your opponents can't go for fake out pins on you. They can't fake out Surging Strikes at any point because they will be they'll face a nasty surprise as you just answer back with an Astral Barrage in exchange. The team has a lot of bulk on it. The Incineroar obviously with Will-O-Wisp and Fake Out, as well as Parting Shot, Intimidate, just to allow the Calyrex as many opportunities to set up as possible. The Clefairy's Friend Guard offering passive defensive buffs. You can kind of switch that in and switch some calcs that your opponents think are guaranteed to just suddenly be a 3 at KO, or just, you know, not be the 1 at KO that they're expecting, as well as having the Follow Me once the Clefairy is in to redirect any single target attacks, and then Life Dew on turns where your Calyrex is getting a little low on HP. You can actually protect the Calyrex and use Life Dew. It does go through Protect and heal both your Clefairy and your Calyrex by 25%. The Grimmsnarl is very, very difficult to deal with on this team. It's very consistent to just lead the Grimmsnarl and the Incineroar, or maybe the Raging Bolt, Volt Switch out, Parting Shot out into the Calyrex after getting the appropriate screen up. Or you can slow play it a little bit, get your Thunder Waves off, get multiple screens, and then bring in the Calyrex. I do like that as well. And then the Raging Bolt, as mentioned, is the Assault Vet set with Volt Switch. Also has Electro Web to be able to play against Tailwind teams. After one Electro Web, Calyrex is still able to outspeed a lot of Tailwind Pokemon. You can also use it in the Calyrex Mirror if you're unable to get a Thunder Wave off, and you can get off the Electro Web, and then the Calyrex on your side will outspeed them and knock out with an Astral Barrage. The last Pokemon on the team is the Tera Stellar Urshifu with the Focus Sash. I have seen a lot of this actually popping up, oftentimes without Aqua Jet, but this team kind of can have some trouble with the Focus Sashes, just breaking those, so I think Aqua Jet makes sense over something like a Taunt or other options that people have been going for. The Tera Stellar is worse than Water Tera in a lot of situations, particularly for Surging Strike, but you're really using it to get a one-time unexpected burst of damage on the close combat. This can be important against things like Calyrex Ice Rider that can go for Tera Water or something in front of you, so you're just having the option to boost the almost always neutral close combat into Calyrex Ice Riders is definitely very much appreciated. This is a very powerful team. Definitely expect to see variants of it at the World Championship in the coming weeks, but yeah, if you guys enjoy these type of videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to use the team, I have the rental code in the top right of the video, as well as the PokePaste featuring the EV spreads in the description below. With all that being said, let's hop into the battles now. Okay, I actually featured this team on the channel a little while ago, and it is very threatening. It is Gravity, Booster Energy Speed on the Iron Crown, and Hypnosis Yanmega. Super, super scary. I don't have Misty Terrain, but I do have Taunt. I'm going to lead that because it's really good against the Yanmega, namely. But I can't cover for Tachyon Cutter too, unfortunately. Whatever, I can lead with the Calyrex and threaten a lot of damage regardless. They are Tera Dark. They are Tera Dark, actually, on Tachyon Cutter guy, so I have to be careful of that. And I will be careful of that. What's Yanmega's max speed? Yanmega. 252. If they're timid, which I think they are, they'll outspeed me. This is not great, I think, but I can lead Electro Web. I think this is fine. Defensively, this should be okay, and then oh, it's so bad if they lead the Groudon, though. Yikes, dude. I'm going to lead this. Got to be Calyrex in the back. And then I think I will go with the Incin in the back. Just as fake out pressure. But it probably should have been the Clefairy for helping hand support. Because I'm going to fall a little bit shy on Astral Barrages, I think. Yeah, I'm going to lose to the team that I recreated, I think. Ah, that's so spooky. I have Taunt, which is kind of cool, but... Oh, Rillaboom Iron Crown is not what I was expecting. It is fairly standard Iron or Rillaboom on this team, I think. Do I have a great switch in to the... Yeah, I have a pretty good switch, actually. Knowing what I know, they're actually very weak to Urshifu with this lead. They can fake out, double me up, but this should be fine. I'm just going to Surging Strike their Iron Crown, put it in range. Because they're not Psychic on this one. They are Tera Blast, Dark, and Tachyon Cutter. That's why I didn't lead with the Calyrex-Shadow Rider, because if I do, then I have to make a read on whether they Tera Dark or not. They fake out into the Incineroar, taking a bit of chip. We'll take that. And yeah, Tachyon Cutter into the Incin, so knowing the team is half the battle in close team sheet ladder. And we're going to do a lot, probably not Aqua Jet range unless we burn the Tera Stellar. But another thing I know about this team is the Iron Crown does not have Protect, and they don't have priority blocking, so pretty much a free Surging Strike or Close Combat. The question is, do I even go for that? I don't really have reason to. I should preserve the Incineroar though, so I think I will. Like, Parting Shot's pretty good. If I lose the... Yeah, this is good, I want to say. Let's get after the Iron Crown here. Because I feel like -1 Grassy Glide plus Tachyon Cutter will not knock me out. So they go for the Gravity here as expected. So we're getting the Incin out and the Grimmsnarl in, I want to say. Hopefully we are... I think I... Actually, I didn't EV this team, but I imagine the Incin slow, which means we will Parting Shot after them. Yeah, Woodhammer's totally fine. They're going to bring themselves very, very low. Wow. Invisible Focus Sash +1 on that, and now their Rillaboom's -2. So that's good. I can get a Reflect up and then go for another Fake Out later in the game, which I like. Yep, let's just get the Reflect up here and probably Protect on the Urshifu. Or Double Sack it, not entirely sure what's correct. Ooh, what I have to be wary of is Scary Face on their Raging Bolt, or not their Raging Bolt, their Gouging Fire, because they have some cute speed control in a late game with that. So let's just go Reflect, obviously, and I think if they let me, I will go for a Close Combat, I want to say, into the Groudon. Do I need Tera Fairy at any point? I do not. Do I have any other Teras that are useful this match? Tera Grass just opens me up to Heat Crashes. Tera Ghost isn't good. Tera Stellar could be something. Probably not. I think the Close Combat damage is all I need. Yeah, they switch out. So I could have tagged the Gouging Fire on switch in, but I think the Close Combat puts the Groudon in Calyrex range, and then I can probably close it out with a Thunder Wave plus a... Yeah, we should be fine. I think Thunder Wave will do enough damage. So Stellar Tera would have been cool there, but yeah, we might be a little shy on the Astral damage. Just barely. Precipice Blades, double connect. Obviously with the gravity that is 100%, and it's doing a lot of damage. A lot of damage. But one option that I have is pretty cool. I can Thunder Wave. So they're clear Amulet on this set, unfortunately. What I want to go for here is Thunder Wave into the Gouging Fire. I think they're burning Bulwark, so they can't get around that. Yeah, we're just going to go for that and a Protect. And no Protects from them, notably. Taunt would have been, in theory, a little bit safer because it can't miss and it stops Scary Face, but what I'm really hoping for is a Howl. No, I can't really... Howl would be bad. So Heat Crash shouldn't knock me out through Reflect, which means I can fake out their Groudon, and that's good that it knocked out. That's a free switch to Ensign. Perfect. They can't move because they're paralyzed, which is good if they went for Howl. I think now we just fake out the Groudon. Tera Grass. Oh no, I believe this should just be a... If they don't crit the Precipice Blades, we just fake out you and Tera Nasty Plot, because I don't want them to get much more damage off. Yeah, they switch out the Groudon, so a fake out would have been useless there, which means it's a free Nasty Plot. They're not Covert Cloak, they are Clear Amulet, as we confirmed from switching in. And we're going for the Tera Grass here in case they Precipice Bladed, and I didn't want my Incineroar knocked out, basically. Because it still can do well in this late game, given the right circumstances. I guess maybe Tera Fire. Oh wait, why did Tera there? That was stupid. I think I meant to Tera the Incin, but whatever. It works to my advantage, I think, in this situation. Because now we're not weak to Heat Crash or U-Turn. Reflect is still up, and they do not know we're Covert Cloak, so this is a very good opportunity to go for a Knockoff plus Astro Barrage. I don't necessarily think that KOs, but looking at the field conditions, we have Reflect active for a few more turns. And yeah, they're probably just going to go for a... Let me just Protect. What if they Howl? Yeah, I don't want them to Howl. So I'm going to go for Astro Barrage Knockoff. They cancel out. I guess their worry was that I would knock them out regardless with Astro Barrage, but I think the Gouging Fire could be bulky enough. If they crit a Flare Blitz or a Heat Crash in the sun through the Reflect, then they'll probably knock out my Calyrex and then win. But yeah, if that doesn't happen, yeah, they lose. But yeah, I think knowing what's coming is really important against these teams. You could very easily imagine me in team preview saying, okay, whatever, I'll taunt the Yanmega, stop the Hypnosis Cheese, and then Nasty Plot in front of the Iron Crown and then Thunder Wave it or something. But if they're Tera Dark, they can easily just turn one, go for the Tera Dark Tera Blast into me, and just knock out my restricted turn one, and then sweep from there with their Groudon and Gravity. So knowing the team, very important in these closed team sheet environments. Fu is a lead. And Sin also kind of not great. I could just go for Calyrex right off the bat. I don't think I love it. I might just go Raging Bolt, go for a Electro Web or something early. I can wall out the Indeedee Armarouge. I can't get Thunder Wave off as easily as I would like to, unfortunately. I think I'm going to go these three. The only question is Urshifu in the back or the Clefairy, and I think Clefairy is going to be my go-to. Just the Friend Guard support could be nice. And I don't love Urshifu, even though, like, if they're weak armor or something on the Armarouge, I'm not going to be able to do that well against it. Can't pick anything off with Aqua Jet. And yeah, Flutter Mane with the speed boost, Raging Bolt with the Thunderclaps are going to be hard to contend with for the Raging or the Urshifu. So I'd rather just have the Clefairy to potentially life do my main sweeper up to full HP. Okay, Koraidon Whimsicott. That's fine. I think I will just go for a Reflect. I could Draco. I think I will rather... Thunder Wave's tempting, but probably not necessary. What's Reflect doing for me here? I can taunt that if I want to. Let's just go for Reflect. Volt Switch I like a fair bit. Just break the Sash. Potentially Thunder Wave the Koraidon in a turn too. Yeah, let's Volt Switch the Koraidon, get some solid damage off. They're switching out the Whimsicott, so I could have gotten a Volt Switch into that, which is fine. Okay, I was not going for Thunder Wave, but I'm glad I didn't for sure. Very glad. We will set the Reflect up. It's going to be the most relevant this particular turn, and the Volt Switch chip will be good for the... Okay, that is a Choice Banded Koraidon, I think. We're going to get a strong Volt Switch off into that probably Armarouge, I have to imagine. That's an interesting play. Whimsicott. That's very passive. Absolutely. We get a lot of damage off there. Electro Web would have been a little cool. Our Grimmsnarl is a bit locked down, but I don't really mind that. I'm going to go right into the Calyrex. If there's Shadow Ball, that's somewhat annoying. But if I get Nasty Plot up, I think that is fine. Should I go right for the Tera here, just defensively? It's tempting. Astro Barrage is not bad by any means. Light Screen. Like, I can just knock out the Whimsicott. It's not a whole lot they can do about it. They could try and switch in the Armarouge here, which seems ill-advised, I'd say. I think I'm just going to go for the Astro Barrage, take a KO. I don't need the boost if I knock out the Whimsicott, but they would have just given me that. That's annoying. They could be Shadow Ball though, so can't be too upset. Like, Shadow Ball is their main source of damage here, if they have it. But we outspeed the Indeedee, that's good. They switch turn 1, so maybe later in the game I can get a Thunder Wave off, which is cool. Yeah. Hopefully not Shadow Ball. Dazzling Gleam would be ideal. We have one boost that should be sufficient to hit a lot of their team. Psychic, that's fine. Yeah, very glad that I did not go for the Tera. Unfortunately, no Spirit Break here, but this works fine. Koraidon, I do believe that to be Choice Banded, but because of the terrain, I can't do anything about it. Let me switch into the Indeedee, or the Clefairy. I feel like I'll live a hit, most likely. And yeah, let's just think about going for Protect, right? They're going to Helping Hand Flare Blitz, I imagine. Maybe Tera Fire. So let's just Protect. Switch to Clefairy. If they read me, they read me. Then I can potentially go for Draco the next turn. Yeah, they are going for Tera Fire. I want to run this Calc for my sake, but Reflect... Choice Band probably gets them there, actually. If they were not, I'm sure I would live. That is Tera Fire. Okay, I thought they were Tera fighting for some reason for a second. They did Helping Hand. That would have for sure knocked me out. And that is going to be the Flare Blitz into... Yeah, Calyrex, cool. We can follow me that for sure. Now I just need to look at my offensive stats and look at Astro Barrage's likelihood to KO. Probably pretty low. 2 turns of Psychic Terrain. Oh, this is fine. As long as I bring them in Electro Web range, we live. I think I just Astro Barrage here and put them in E-Web's range. Oh, they're gonna... Oh, they just forfeit. Yeah, I guess they would have just gotten knocked out straight up after the Flare Blitz damage into my Clefairy, but that was a weird spot. I think they had to win the game that turn by Flare Blitzing the correct Pokemon, because if I get Clefairy in, I follow me, they take too much recoil, and I just KO them with the Nasty Plot, or not the Nasty Plot, with the Astro Barrage at +1, and then I Steamroll, I think. But if they get my Clefairy, I guess it's still not over because I can still just Electro Web with my... Yeah, my Raging Bolt and sack my Grimmsnarl, so I don't think that was an all or nothing turn, but it was definitely very favored for me. They have to get it right or they lose, and they got it wrong, so they cancel out acknowledging that. All right, we have a interesting team. Looks a lot, I mean, not a lot like old Rainy Sun teams. It has the Groudon and the Charizard, but a lot of new elements, the Amoonguss, the Annihilate, and the Raging Bolt. So, the power from the Charizard and Sun, not to be understated. Solar power Tera Fire, Choice Specs, Heat Waves would do a lot of damage. I can Thunder Wave that, I guess. But yeah, that's going to be really difficult to handle. Defensively, I think I'll lead the Annihilate is kind of annoying if I lead the Incineroar. This is actually kind of tricky, I will say. I think I can set up in front of the Groudon, scout out if the Charizard is Choice Specs, and then move on from there. If it is, what do I do? I need Clefairy in. I could bring in the Grimmsnarl to sack. I feel like Raging Bolt isn't bad here, but I might need just my main supporters here. This is honestly like, it surprised me how often I can just like fully support the Calyrex, but I'd like to bring the Raging Bolt to deal with the Charizard, but their team is just so otherwise stacked against it. The Gastrodon, the Amoonguss is pretty good. The Annihilate is like kind of neutral. I'd say they can get into a more favorable position a bit faster if they're bulk up Rage Fist. And of course the Groudon. They do lead Groudon, Charizard, threatening, of course. Okay. So we'll see what... the Groudon makes the Charizard look so small. But they have the cool, shiny Charizard. We'll see if they're Clear Amulet on the Groudon. It is Clear Amulet. Hopefully they're not Tera Ghost on the Zard. If they are not, we can just go for Nasty Plot Fake Out. And I think I kind of have to go for that. If they are Tera Ghost, GG, you got me. We're seeing a switch out though. I'm actually hoping... What are they going for? That they knock out the... Amoonguss is interesting. I don't know if I follow that. Rocky Helmet Chip would be fine. Brings me in range of Precipice Blades. A Connect would be good. So what I'm hoping... we gotta be careful still. Precipice Blades. Double Connect. Probably a KO on Incin. Not a KO on Incin. It's actually kind of bad. Okay. That is not great. I feel like I kind of have to sack here. That's bad. I will, I think, knock off. Yeah, I would have liked to have gone down there. Maybe I should have parting shot and made the read, but that's not good. I'm going to knock off the Amoonguss because I can live a Precipice Blades if they miss Incineroar and I bring the Amoonguss down into range. I can switch to Clefairy the next turn and get in my Clefairy and live a Precipice Blades with Friend Guard roughly. I'm going to run the Calc on Groudon, but I imagine they have a chance to live this regardless. No, they went for Spore. Whatever will I do? So they could have a defensive Tera, which would be kind of pesky, but I think my best play is still just go into Clefairy. I can't imagine they live this, but if they have a defensive Tera, there's a chance. If they do have the defensive Tera, though, we should have a good chance to live their hit. Let's just go for it. Astral Barrage, Helping Hand. Do I need to Tera here yet? I don't think so. I guess the only question is their Groudon able to live this? Probably. Clear Amulet versus Astral Barrage versus Groudon 252. If I were like Spell Tag, I'd be confident just going for Life Dew and kind of hedging my bets, but I think I have to bank on them not having a weird defensive Tera here. They don't go for it, so maybe we are in fine shape here. They protect the Amoonguss. Fair enough. Fair enough for sure. Choice Scarf Charizard again is the only fear here, I think. Because otherwise I can just beat them. So I guess my play is going to be... Yeah, it's a crit, didn't matter. We are now +3, so everything on their team should kind of fold if they don't have a defensive Tera. But we have lost our Fake Out. We can't Fake Out the Charizard, and we don't have a defensive Tera. So my only fear is Choice Scarf, which they're kind of massaging that fear a little bit. I think I'm going to protect Life Dew. Because the only way I can lose is switching out Amoonguss. If their Choice Scarf is probably a mistake, because if they knock out Clefairy, I can Thunder Wave them next turn. So I've kind of hopefully given myself 2 ways out of this if they're Choice Scarf. We'll see what they are. Alright, there is the Terastallization. They were Terrifier, kind of to be expected. The only question is if it's Life Orb, Specs, or Other. I think they had to keep in the Amoonguss there, though. On the chance that I am a Grimmsnarl. Heat Wave moving first before the Clefairy to be expected. Yeah. This should knock out, have to imagine. It does not. What does that tell me about my chances of living on the Calyrex, actually? Not great. I think that's Scarf. Let me look at my defenses. I think there's a good chance I don't live now. 121 versus Clefairy's like at least 15% bulkier, so I might fold there. I would have loved for Clefairy to go down there, honestly. That's bad. Maybe what I should have done there is actually Tera Grass to guarantee I go down. I think that's what I should have done, honestly. At this point, we just have to bank the turn and hope that we live, but it's not looking great. Not looking great. I will go for a Life Dew. I guess Follow Me is better in case they're Focus Sash Gastrodon. We'll see. They're just switching around. Yeah, I should have gone for Tera Grass, I think, that turn. They were Choice Scarf. They do miss the Calyrex. And they do miss the Clefairy. That is unfortunate for them. I want to run the Calc, but I do feel like that's a KO pretty cleanly on their end, but I absolutely made a huge mistake letting them get in that position. So yeah, they'll understood. Understandable. Only one of the misses mattered, of course, onto the Calyrex, and they also, hit a couple Precipice Blades that game. If you're using inaccurate moves, eventually one of them is going to miss, and if they missed any of their moves into the Calyrex any point in the game, they lose, so I don't feel awful about that happening like on the last turn, because it could have been any of the turns prior where one of their moves miss on a Pokemon, and I just like preserve a win condition that way. So that is the disadvantage of the Charizard Groudon teams and the Groudon teams in general. It is very powerful when you get into position, but you can get out of position even outside of your opponent's control. Like, the game itself can be against you in situations like that. So good game to them. Unfortunate. Looking back, I definitely should have gone for the Tera Grass on the Clefairy just to get the Thunder Wave going. Just to like sack the Clefairy to the Heat Wave and not even chance living or getting knocked out, but I really did think I would fold there. Okay, pretty vanilla team from my opponent. It looks a lot like the PatCon team that got first at NIAC. I feel like Screens is generally pretty strong against that. Like Screens, Clefairy, Calyrex-Shadow Rider, very strong in my opinion. Bit of an Urshifu problem too on their end, I would say. To some extent. I could just lead the Calyrex right away. I think that is ill-advised. For sure. Critting through Screens is annoying. Don't love that. But I can Volt Switch on lead, and I'll probably do that. Electro Web, decent as well. Will I need my Clefairy? Potentially not. So I might just burn the Tera on the Raging Bolt early on, if I see the circumstance for it. But yeah, going to be a tricky battle. I think this is one where you could definitely argue for leading the Calyrex, but if they lead Urshifu correctly, they can potentially Helping Hand threaten a knockout, so I don't love that either. When they have Wide Guard Pelipper, there's a lot of mind games that can happen before you get it into a situation where you can KO it. Hard to say if my opponent is the Helping Hand or Protect variant of the Pelipper. Calyrex Urshifu, no huge surprise there. Could be coaching, but I think we led extremely correctly with our Calyrex. Or with our Raging Bolt. I think it's most likely going to be a switch out here into something. Could be Raging Bolt, could be really anything. I would like to go for a Reflect and a Volt Switch into the Calyrex, believe it or not. Because it should be in range of, what, 2... Well, maybe not. I am pretty close to max. I'm not super defensive, unfortunately. I'll Volt Switch the Calyrex because I think they feel safe. They would have let me Thunderclap the Urshifu, which is like not great. Coaching, that's annoying. But not the end of the world. Because that also signals to me it's a free switch into Calyrex. Not free, they will do a lot with this, but they will also be in some danger. Probably going to be a Trick Room here. If they don't, is that an issue? I think I have to attack regardless. Or I have to bring this in regardless. But my back might be able to beat them. Yeah, interesting. I could have just Volt Switched there. We'll see if they Trick Room, they Glacial Lance, so that might be a 2-hit KO. If it is, I'm in some trouble. That is not great. Okay. I can live after the Friend Guard, potentially. So what are we going for here? They're probably just coaching, attacking, and I can't do a whole lot about it. They could coach protect. There's a whole lot they can do, and there's not a whole lot I can do in exchange. Unless I can beat them 1v1 in the back with Clefairy Raging Bolt, it's going to be a tough battle. But that's possible. Let's honestly just switch and Draining Kiss. Good play. Could have set up there then. I should be healing out of range regardless, and Grassy Glide might be in KO range of me. Yeah, I should have Nasty Plotted here. If I do that, I think I live, but it was a hard read to make. Yeah, okay. We'll see. If we are able to force out a Tera Water, that's valuable as well. Maybe I should have just led the Urshifu, or the... Yeah, they led really well and honestly caught me off guard with the coaching. They're going for a Terastallization of their own, which indicates to me they went for the Glacial Lance. We should be living that, but we're going to take a lot of damage on the Clefairy. We can maybe cheese them with Thunderclap now in the late game. It's probably Raging Bolt in the back. Unfortunate. We're going to heal a lot of damage here, but if I lived this hit, I probably would have just rather the alternative of a KO. Not a KO, but some Astral Barrage chip. So we'll live this, but barely. Yep. We're going to heal some HP now. Okay. Not great. In fact, quite bad as far as situations go. What do we do now? They can freely Glacial Lance protect, and I can't do anything about it. Or I could, yeah, they can fake out Glacial Lance if they want to. Can't do much. I can protect. Do I have another play here? I can double protect, go for Glacial Lance afterwards. I don't think that's correct. By any means, I'm going to go for Helping Hand Astro Barrage, I think. Oy. This position is very bad. If they go for Trick Room, there's a chance, but they made a great play turn 1 with the coaching. They do not go for Fake Out. Don't bite into the Cobra Cloak. Smart call. And we probably put that in Thunderclap range, thankfully. And they U-turn the Clefairy. Interesting. Could be Trick Room, could be a lot of things. Losing Clefairy here would be no bueno, though. I don't think this is over, but it doesn't look great. Chipping the Rillaboom is important. Urshifu, interesting call. Yep, there's the Glacial. Should get close on the Clefairy to a knockout, but not quite. So that's good. We can Helping Hand Thunderclap the Urshifu for a KO, which is cool. But then we have to tank a hit. I'm probably just going to Helping Hand Electroweb then. Yeah. I can Volt Switch out into the Clefairy, but then I'll be pressured by Fake Out. They can always U-turn out, and if they get the Rillaboom in, they know I'm Assault Vest most likely, so they can always pressure that, which is bad. I'm just going to switch out, and this is probably U-turn, so I can try and catch that and heal up. Not a good spot. I think I'm actually going to Draco the Urshifu slot. As odd as it looks. I have Thunderbolt, right? I do not have Thunderbolt. Okay. I mean, regardless, I have to go for it. Pretty sure this is a U-turn or something. Yeah. Not a KO. Very cool. And we heal up a bit. Okay. This is probably still a loss, but if we can knock out the... If it's Raging Bolt on switch in, that's cool. Yeah, Rillaboom, fair enough. Okay. If I was Thunderbolt, I think we could maybe knock out the Calyrex, but I think the healing from the Grassy Terrain is just too much over time for me to deal with. Getting a bit of healing on the Clefairy is cool, but now they can just go for coaching if they want to. Having dropped my HP stat is also very bad. I'll at least get the Volt Switch off, which is cool. But I think I have primed myself for a double KO. Raging Bolt in the back. Could I beat them 1v1? There's their Raging Bolt. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to Helping Hand Volt Switch. Cool. I can Thunder Wave their last guy, right? This is going to be Helping Hand Volt Switch for sure. And we'll live a Draco easily, so they have to Thunderbolt the Clefairy. We'll see if we live this, but this has gotten way closer than it probably should have been. I just didn't really have a great option against this Calyrex Ice. I probably need to set up a nasty plot a little earlier, be more proactive. They Thunderbolt the Clefairy. Should knock out with the booster energy, yeah, but we'll at least get to pivot out and maybe have a chance, but it's not looking great. Looking very bad, in fact, if this doesn't KO. Bummer. GG. We were like one tick away from getting there, I think. But then we also need to Thunderclap KO the Urshifu and given our special attack stat. Yeah, I don't think we're max, so we wouldn't get there. Man, that stinks. Okay, GG. That is unfortunate. Not unfortunate, they just played well. Managed their healing well, and that KOs, so that will confirm the game. We did get pretty close, but that should be it. In case, unless they miss a bunch of Dracos. Well, actually, no, we never got light screen up. This is super over. I will just go for a Electro Web. Is there a way to win? They haven't seen Electro Web, probably not, but yeah, we'll go for it. They go for Draco, it hits. Yeah, it should be GG. Yep. With the booster energy, able to KO even through Assault Vest. If I got light screen up and we get some misses, there's a chance. Because then I Electro Web, I outspeed the Raging Bolt. I Thunderclap, maybe crit the Urshifu, get there that way, and then Draco Meteor KOs their Bolt. So that's a lot of ifs, but this is definitely a very playable matchup that I just did not play that well, and they led very excellently. They identified the screens was going to be really important and then just boosted through it. Yeah, wasn't quite ready for that. I think I probably should have led the Urshifu instead of the Raging Bolt. Maybe Clefairy stays on the bench. I don't know. I maybe need to prioritize getting more damage to get the Calyrex in range of an Astral Barrage or two via close combat, but I just didn't. That was my initial thought, but a little more experience in the matchup could definitely sway how that matchup goes. Okay, we have a pretty interesting Calyrex Ice combination. I've seen a lot similar to this, kind of not with Chi-Yu and Incineroar, but definitely a bit of a pivot to Chi-Yu plus Flutter Mane. I'm not crazy about the composition, but I know it does have its merits. I can see Grim. I think Incense generally decent against these, just parting shotting out early. I wonder if it's a little like self-indulgent to just go with this very very silly mode. I think I'm gonna go for it, where you just completely focus on the Calyrex. I think yeah, we could do it here. I'm just bringing my 4 supporting Pokemon, gonna Parting Shot early. Instin's really good here because they do not have anything to immediately clear it, like an Urshifu. They have Rillaboom, could be high horsepower. The high horsepower on the Calyrex is a bit annoying, but we have Will-O-Wisp for that. In a best of 3 situation, or at least open team sheet, Will-O-Wisp on the Incineroar is pretty cool because you can force out Tera Fires from Calyrex Ice Riders and then Surging Strikes them. So that would be probably the more consistent option, but I kind of want to show off how sometimes a slow-paced team like Calyrex Ice Rider can struggle to keep up against the rapidly boosting screens Calyrex-Shadow Rider. Okay, Incin Flutter, fair enough. That's fine. That could be Icy Wind or Thunder Wave, which isn't great. I'm going to Thunder Wave it just to get it out of the way. We are slower on the Flutter, unfortunately. Makes sense. I can switch out to Clefairy, which is not amazing. I'll say that much. I don't want to take a Moonblast on my guy either, so I'm just going to go for a Thunder Wave and a knockoff. Could be fun into the Incineroar, but it's probably not that valuable. I didn't see if they're boost energy actually, so I will knock it off. Yeah, that seems correct. Just get some damage, break a Focus Sash. They are fake outing the Grim. I could have gone for Terra Ghost, which probably is a decent option there. Just guarantee I get the Thunder Wave if they're specs or something. They are not specs. I think I should have identified if they were booster energy. Looks like they were. Nope, they're Focus Sash. That's cool. That is going to be a fat Reflect for me, I think. Good Thunder Wave Parting Shot. I think that's a little better. It's like in Will-O-Wisp the Calyrex freely enough. Screens might be a little extraneous. Yeah, let's just no, we're faster. Because they were Focus Sash. That's weird. Usually they're booster. Yeah, we're faster than them. Don't have to Thunder Wave. That would have been a wasted move. Let's think about getting a Reflect up. And Parting Shotting into the Flutter main, I guess. I could Parting Shot into the Incin as well. I don't think it's quite necessary. Knock off, that's fine. I lose my goggles. Whatevs. Oh, I'm actually Rocky Helmet, so that damage could be important. But yeah, we're just going to Parting Shot the Flutter. That is Trick Room Flutter main. That is Trick Room Flutter main. We're going to get both screens up. But at what cost? Okay. That's kind of wild. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. That's fine. I'm just going to go Clefairy here. That's really weird, but okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I could have gone into Clefairy there to Life Dew myself. But yeah, not used to seeing this Flutter main on these Trick Room teams. That is kind of wild. Definitely an interesting, consistent way to get Trick Room up. I'm never going to see that coming. But yeah, now they're probably just going to Dazzling Gleam or something silly. I could just go right for Nasty Plot. I think I'm just going to Protect though. Like I could Covert Cloak, Nasty Plot. Maybe I should. Yeah, I think in retrospect, this turn I should have gone for Tera Fairy, Nasty Plot. Because they have to go for Shadow Ball to like threaten me, maybe knock off. All of those are annoying. They do a little bit of damage, but not that much. And if I get the Nasty Plot up, I can really take advantage of things. So if they go for Parting Shot into my Calyrex, that's a bit annoying. Or they Protect Flutter. That's should have been a Nasty Plot for sure then. If they make a very hard read and Parting Shot into my Clefairy, well done, but I doubt it. Yeah, knockoff goes into the Calyrex. That's fine. Honestly, I feel like HP on Clefairy might be more valuable here. I kind of just want to protect. Do they have a switch in for this? Like an Astral Barrage straight up? Probably not. If they have Chi-Yu, they do. Let's think about just going Follow Me Trick Room or Follow Me Nasty Plot. I could get really cute and go for Protect, but I don't think it's necessary. They're going for a Tera Fairy. Fair. It's not going to do a lot to me. Unless they crit through Light Screen. Can't crit through Friend Guard to my knowledge. Oh, that's cool. That means Calyrex is going to fold to a Helping Hand later on, though. So, A-okay by me. Glad I didn't Astral Barrage. Part of me was very tempted to go for a... Yeah, there's the Parting Shot, so glad I followed me. Part of me was like, oh, they'll probably go for a knockoff. Maybe they'll even Parting Shot into Clefairy and Moonblast it. I won't even have to go for a Terastallization as they double into my Clefairy, but that's pretty hopeful. There's no real reason not to go for Follow Me Nasty Plot. Pretty low risk, the Parting Shot doesn't matter, and a Dazzling Gleam probably doesn't matter either. Raging Bolt, that's fine. Yeah, they ended up playing pretty hopeful there, I think. That damage is not too impressive, and I can always go for a Terastallization now. I think I just double Protect. Stall out one more turn of Trick Room. Figure out what they're going for, and then, yeah, should be fine. Especially with Fake Out in the back, they're really up a creek, I'd say. I'm going to always Tera my Forever Wrath this game, I think. So I should probably just go for the Tera next turn. Snarl, I am Covert Cloak, that's fine. So I don't have to Tera next. I should Tera just because of the damage, but... Yeah, this game looks pretty over, I will say. Unless they start critting attacks, which is not really going to work for them, I think. I don't want to give them an out, even though they are going for spread moves and Shadow Ball. I think I should just go for Nasty Plot. Once again, I can Nasty Plot their Raging Bolt for a free health pack, and their Flutter main is probably in range for that as well. And I can always Fake Out it, so not really that stressed about it at this point. Assault Vest Bolt might have a chance to live the Draining Kiss, but Booster Energy wouldn't. I think Rillaboom would probably be the AV on this team, but Snarl is kind of tipping me off. Otherwise, Covert Cloak going to come off very effective here, and they go for Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, that's something, I guess. No drops, hate to see it. Light Screen up. Friend Guard up. This is exactly what I was expecting in Team Preview. Not exactly the Trick Room mode from the Flutter main I was expecting, but, you know, pretty much just as good here. So I'm not immune to... let's just go for a Follow Me and a Draining Kiss into the Flutter, because I want that knockout. I don't want Trick Room going up again. Interesting switch. So what's cool about Follow Me now, they can Electroweb me, and as long as I Follow Me, they will never get a Thunderbolt paralysis. Switching out into the Calyrex is interesting, but I think maybe a bit too late. If they had gotten that in under Trick Room and been threatening some damage, they'd be good. But now I have Helping Hand plus 4 Astral Barrage, and I don't know if that'll KO Incineroar, but it'll KO Calyrex. For sure. So yeah, Urshifu probably wouldn't have been that good this game. Unless they're Min Speed Flutter main. Or if they're a Min Speed Flutter main, then it wouldn't have been great. Oh, that does so much, yeah. That should be game. We heal back to full, and we have Helping Hand active here. And they can't even Fake Out me because of Covert Cloak. So they can't go for Fake Out Trick Room. Definitely very important aspect of this set is the first time with the Snarl, the Electrowebs, etc. That's going to be a surprise, but yeah, not on... Should have noticed a little earlier, bud. Let's see if this KOs Incineroar. Oh yeah. Very nice. So that is why this is a Tera Fairy one, but we have seen a bit of a move away from Tera Fairy on some of the higher placing Calyrex-Shadow Rider teams coming into World to just go Psychic, because if you have the Clefairy, if you have several Nasty Plot boosts and something like a Helping Hand in DD, Clefairy, or even Incineroar we've seen, you can get pretty close to a knockout with just a bit of chip on Incineroar, and it's not that hard to get the chip, so. Opting away from the Draining Kiss, which was used to shore up matchups, and just cover a little more consistently. But yes, there is no chance here, yeah. without me giving them a chance to Thunderbolt paralyze me, they just can't beat me at +6. So good game to them. I think that was a good showcase of the Grimmsnarl mode. They kind of seemed like they made a misplay at some point. I remember the Grimmsnarl getting a bit more mileage than it should have. I guess it was the Flutter main not being booster energy made things a lot easier. The set was just a little too passive, I think, against Calyrex-Shadow Rider. There's a lot of things like that where it's like, I'm going to go Tera Normal Goldengo or Tera Normal Flutter main, wall out the Calyrex-Shadow Rider, and then hit it with a Shadow Ball. And if it Teras, I'll just hit it with my stabs or go into Trick Room or hit it with a Make It Rain. But those can work, but if I bring Urshifu, I just close combat you, I fake out, pin your, follow me, and then I deal with your threat to Calyrex and then bring the Calyrex in later. Didn't even have to do that there, just they didn't have the offensive power to deal with these screens and the defensive support, so I do think the answers to Calyrex-Shadow Rider are a lot. You can try and make a linear counter like the Tera Normal stuff, but oftentimes it has to be a bit more complex, which makes sense at this point in the metagame. You can't just have a cheap throw on Tera to beat the most powerful Pokemon in the metagame, in my opinion. So that's going to do it for Battle Stay, featuring the team that was able to get 5th place on the Battle Stadium ladder last season. I think we were able to leverage the Clefairy, Grimmsnarl, and Incineroar mode pretty well. Never got to Stellar Tera the Urshifu, even though in practice I found that to be a pretty potent offensive option. The Raging Bolt is just general utility, can come in handy in some battles with Thunderclap, but oftentimes it is better just to go with the defensive core of Clefairy, Grimmsnarl, Incineroar, and just set up the Calyrex. So did a lot of that in this session. If you guys enjoy these type of videos, please subscribe to the channel. Going to be doing a lot more coverage coming into the World Championship if you want to stick around for that. So if you enjoyed the video, yeah, subscribe, and peace, y'all.